In the vast universe of game development, three adventurers embarked on an extraordinary quest. Our mission? To conquer the biggest game jam we could find, and that's why we submitted to a game jam hosted by Pirate Software. Yes, that's the guy who is popping up on your YouTube Shorts feed all the time. In his game jam, over 1,400 teams submitted a game, and one of these came from us. The game jam started in the Pirate Software livestream, and all participants voted for the game jam theme.
It's spreading.
This included everything from pandemic to wildfire games. But let's go back in time and find out how we started. Our trio consisted of a designer who created all of the pixel art, the mastermind behind our game mechanics, my brother Desnas, and me as a developer who put all the ideas and assets into the game engine Unity. Together we brainstormed ideas that would fit to the theme it's spreading. At first we thought about zombies, infection, and even love that could spread all over the world. But then Desnas came up with a concept that ignited our imagination: the Cobra Effect. The term Cobra Effect originates from a story about British colonial rulers in India. A long time ago, the British government was concerned about the number of venomous cobras in Delhi and offered a bounty for every dead cobra. Initially, this was a successful strategy. Large numbers of snakes were killed for the reward. However, enterprising people began to breed cobras for income. When the government became aware of this, the reward program was scrapped, but the cobra breeders said they're now worthless snakes free into the wild, and the cobra population further increased. And then the cobra problem was even bigger after this incident. Nowadays, the Cobra Effect refers to this story and describes a situation where a solution actually makes the problem worse. This effect was the base idea for a game concept and fits perfectly in the game jam theme of its spreading. We envisioned a game where a small outbreak of rats begins spreading and the player tries to stop them by setting free some cobras. But this leads to a cobra plague, which the player then has to stop by setting free foxes, leading to a fox plague. And so on, until one plague covers the whole world. This simple game idea was to be realized within 2 weeks to submit it in time for the game jam. So we had a strict schedule. We started by setting up the game design document, which helped to define all the details of the game and consider every aspect of the final product before even starting with the development. This was incredibly helpful not just for defining a realistic scope, but also for determining which mechanics were important and needed to be implemented to make the game a fun and playable experience. Our GDD also included a detailed table of features, tasks, and a deadline defining when these tasks had to be completed. So now we could start to developing our game. Our team's designer created these little pixel art animals and characters that would spread around the world like a plague, while I was tasked with integrating all the game mechanics together in Unity. The whole development process was filled with challenges and obstacles. Building a spawn logic and balance for all units, designing a usable and simple UI, and implementing different endings for every possible plague scenario in the game. All these challenges helped us become better game developers. And this is the great benefit of taking part in a game jam yourself. You can team up with others and will learn a lot along the way. Learnings that will be helpful for all your next game dev projects. So this is definitely something I would recommend to every aspiring game dev out there. Participate in any game jam and you'll be surprised by how much you can achieve in a short period of time by cooperating with other devs and artists. At the end of the 2 weeks, we had a finished game that will fit our vision, and it was actually playable and fun. We included different stages, and if you spawn the right units to prevent the current plague from spreading, you will progress through all the stages. Every plague that isn't stopped leads to a different ending, showcased by a short story text at the end. Besides learning about development, we also learned a lot about maintaining a good workflow and how mock-ups at the beginning of the development process can save you a lot of time and help avoid misconceptions among team members. We also discovered the importance of usability. Our game struggled with the lack of response to the player when they spawned the wrong units to combat a plague. This confusion among players highlighted the need for better feedback on incorrect decisions. And improving feedback to the player will be something that we will make better in our next projects. At the end of the game jam, over 1,400 projects were submitted, And even if we didn't win the game jam, it was all worth it, because we gained a lot of experience on our journey to become better game developers. And after 2 intense weeks, we created a playable game that even you can play for free on itch.io in your browser. So if you're curious about our game Cobra Effect, check out the link in the video description and help me spread the word about this channel by giving this video a like if you enjoyed this game jam journey. For me, it was a memorable experience, and I highly recommend all aspiring game devs to participate in a game jam at least once. Thank you for watching and see you next time.